Thank you for calling the Venue Helpline, the podcast where venues share their biggest frustrations, toughest challenges, and behind the scenes headaches. If you run a venue or work at one and you've ever thought, oh, why is this so hard? You're in the right place. Each week, you'll hear practical solutions from vetted experts who've been there, done that, and know what actually works. Because running a venue is hard enough. You shouldn't have to figure it out alone. Now, let me put you on a brief hold for the next available helper.
Hi, glad you called. It's Shannon here with the Venue Help Desk. Tell me what's going on.
So I've got a venue that's got a pretty decent local following, and I stay fairly well booked. But I'm looking to attract more destination weddings. I understand there's big money in it, and I live in a pretty destination-heavy location. How do I go about attracting destination wedding couples and getting those weddings? Any help? Thanks.
Oh, I know how hard that can be when you're trying to reposition your venue from just the local one to attracting destination weddings. It can be such a huge shift. So many venues feel really successful locally, but they maybe have plateaued a little bit when trying to shift into that destination style market. I know you want to grow beyond just those local bookings and really get that revenue from people coming in from out of town or traveling to your area. Destination weddings are super lucrative, and location alone doesn't really guarantee that the couples will find you or choose you, right? So many booked venues feel this way because they want to attract destination weddings, but they're not maybe putting the work in to intentionally attract those specific couples. But these types of weddings, they are known for higher budgets, multi-day bookings, and much fewer price objections. But destination couples, they shop very differently than locals, and many venues, possibly like yours, aren't really set up for that mindset. So let's understand really what destination couples are looking for and how to reposition your venue specifically to speak directly to them. Destination couples, they rarely know your local vendors, your local geography, what's in the area, local logistics. So your venue has to do so much more heavy lifting when it comes to the marketing. You've got to think about what are you putting out there and how you can educate them better. So many venues really rely on their local reputation as a part of their marketing plan, but that doesn't really translate to people who are searching from other states or maybe even other countries looking for a venue in your specific area. Think about things like your venue's website. It's usually written for local brides and not for travelers. Your keywords are targeted local. Maybe the messaging it doesn't really talk to people traveling in from out of town. Not much clarity on travel arrangements and things like which airport is nearest to you or how long it takes to get to accommodations, things like lodging. Now that your website is ready to go, let's talk about do you have destination friendly packages? This means you've created packages that really simplify the decision making process. A lot less choices, bundled vendors into an all inclusive, that we handle everything kind of attitude and messaging. Do you have those available as a part of your package? Couples planning from afar, they need simplicity. They need confidence. And if your online presence feels really unclear or maybe incomplete, they'll skip right by you very quickly. Destination markets can be super competitive. Planners, resorts, those highly visible venues dominate the search results. And unless you intentionally position your venue, you aren't going to be the one to get found. So let's talk some specific tips that you can make in terms of making these changes. First, I want you to think about reworking your website for destination specific messaging. Add a destination weddings page specifically onto your site where it has really strong SEO, clear frequently asked questions, answering all of that information that maybe a local couple wouldn't care about. So if I'm a destination couple and I land there, the information I'm looking for is right where it should be. I want you to highlight the travel ease. How close is the nearest airport? Are there shuttle options? What's your distance to major cities? And that's really important factor when they're planning from outside of town. Showcase your lodging options, whether they're on site at your property or nearby options, list them clearly. Maybe you're an off-site venue and you have a lot of Airbnbs or VRBOs in your neighborhood. Maybe you even got great relationships with some of your local hotel partners. You don't need to hide this information until after they book. You've got to be front and center and super clear about it in advance. Add things like itineraries of things to do in the area, sample wedding weekend experiences, things they can take advantage of when they're traveling to your area. They're looking for activities and an entire experience. If couples are traveling from out of town and bringing their friends and family there, they're usually looking for places to host rehearsal dinner, a brunch. All of those things they're looking for are part of the factor of them choosing your venue for their destination wedding. They're looking for someone who makes it really simple and easy with these packages pre-built. So have you ever thought about that? Have you thought about partnering with a local restaurant to create a rehearsal dinner package so they can just one-stop shop and get the whole thing? Do you have a contract maybe with one specific hotel or property where maybe you get a benefit by sending all of your clients there? Think all of the steps through that someone coming from out of town would need to think about. Transportation, Ubers, how are they going to get from the airport to your venue? Do you have a transportation company you work with? You might not need one locally, but this could be a really important factor for destination weddings. Okay, now that we've got the packages all set, now we've got to really lean into the visuals that are going to sell the travel experience. You want to use things like video tours and drone shots and galleries showing guests that are enjoying the location, not just the wedding itself. You want to start thinking about having things like guides of things to do. We have a wonderful venue that we worked with in the St. Augustine area in Florida. And this venue had an entire page dedicated on their website of great things to do in St. Augustine. At a lot of these local establishments, they even offered a discount code for those who were coming in from out of town to book their wedding. So they had the opportunity to really make it a helpful experience for their couples. You also want to focus on showing multi-day experiences, rehearsal dinners, welcome parties, brunch, scenic excursions, making sure that it's clear that you understand the couples that are planning a destination wedding are usually looking for that entire wedding weekend. And how can you show it in your marketing that that's an option at your special venue? Okay, now we've got our packages planned. We've got our regular marketing channels handled. Now, what else can we do? We need to improve our visibility in destination-focused channels. Think about things like your listings on online directories like the Knot, Wedding Wire, Zola, and start looking at also destination-specific keywords. I live in the Central Florida area. When it comes to Central Florida, that's how we describe it locally. But a lot of times when people are searching for a destination wedding here in my market, they're searching specifically Orlando. So are you keywording everything that you can do in all of these places to be specifically highlighting what couples would actually be searching? You can also get featured in blogs specializing in destination weddings. There's a lot of them around the country and around the world, like Destination I Do or Wedding Shoes Travel and things like that. There's opportunities for you to figure out where are destination couples spending their time when it comes to searching outside of just Google. One of the other important factors is to build relationships with travel planners and destination wedding planners. Maybe you could host a FAM. That's called a familiarization in the hotel world, where you host and invite destination planners from around the country to come in, see your property, enjoy the amenities, and really take advantage of everything you have to offer to entice them to bring destination weddings directly to you. All right, our visibility is up. Another factor that you should be considering is, are you making your inquiry and your planning from afar really easy to work with? Do you have things like virtual tours all down, organized, and ready to go with a real person, not just a video link? So do you have Wi-Fi in all the areas of your venue that you need to be able to do a virtual tour? That's an important factor. Can you do them on Zoom or FaceTime? Do you have the functionality, not just sending them a video? I always teach that tours are such an incredible opportunity for you to build that relationship, but you have to do that through face-to-face connection. So do you offer video tours for out-of-state clients? Do you have a planning guide PDF specifically for these out-of-state couples? This is something you might want to consider thinking about. I'm sure that your regular planning guide is full of amazing information, but it doesn't highlight as much of the travel things and amenities that would be really important specifically for out-of-town destination weddings. Think about creating a guide especially for them. I also want you to remember that you've got to be committing to extremely fast response times when it comes to out-of-town couples. Destination couples book the venues that reply first and thoroughly, giving the information that they need, knowing that they won't be able to come out and see the venue anytime soon. Okay, next up, I want you to build social proof that's tailored to destination couples. I know you work so hard to gather reviews from your local couples, but that social proof for destination couples is going to be a huge factor. So you really want to take the time, especially if you build that destination weddings page that we talked about, to highlight the couples who've traveled far for your venue. You want to create blog posts and reels labeled "Why We Choose This Venue from Out of State." One of the easiest things you can do is also interview couples and ask them for a review at the point at which they've chosen your venue from out of state. You don't have to wait until the wedding's over to get that social proof tailored directly to the destination couples. You can always reach out to your past couples to really describe things like the travel ease, the coordination, what surprised them about how easy it was to plan from out of state. Get the right words so you can be attracting the right client. Ensure that your brand reflects destination worthy. Your messaging should be focused on experiences, ease, scenery, not just your regular packages and pricing. Destination weddings are looking for something a little bit different from you. The aesthetic, the wording, the photography, and the tone should all communicate this is worth getting on a plane or taking a nice long drive for. Destination weddings don't just come from you being in a desirable place that people want to visit. They come from intentionally positioning your venue for couples who are planning from hundreds or thousands of miles away. When your website and your packages and your visuals and your marketing speak directly to the destination mindset, you stop relying on that local reputation and you start attracting these travelers who want the full experience that your venue can deliver. Well, that's it for today's episode of the Venue Helpline. Thanks so much for listening. We love helping you tackle these real life frustrations. If you want to keep the conversation going, follow us over at Instagram on the Venue Help Desk. And hey, you know someone who needs to hear this? Send them this episode. Thanks for calling into the Venue Helpline. Call back anytime you've got another challenge for us.